Hey ladies, Claire Luffman here, accountability coach with Six Figure Success Habits. And let's talk about the very first success practice. Now there's 10 essential success practices. The very first one is to create a compelling vision. So let's talk about that, and let's talk about three things in particular. The very first thing that falls under creating a compelling vision is really making sure that you're absolutely in the right business, that you are in complete alignment with what you do naturally, with your brilliance, with what comes naturally to you, your skills, your passions, your life experiences, that you are best suited for your business, for the business model, meaning the way that your business makes money, and that it just feels like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get paid for this. Now, very, very hard working businesswomen right now, some are in the wrong business, and regardless of how much they work and struggle and try and they're dedicated and focused, it may just feel like they're, trying to squish a round peg into a square hole. So that's key. With my very first in-home business, I was a sales director with a skincare business. And with that business, if you think about, well, how does that business make money? That business makes money by me booking skincare classes, holding skincare classes, and building a team building. Now, I did these things. I did them enough to, get to that level of sales director, but it felt like work. It felt like work, and me thinking of, oh my gosh, me doing this for the rest of my life, it's going to feel like work. Even though I loved the business, I loved the other women in the business, I loved the products, but for me it wasn't my brilliance. For many of the other women I worked alongside, it was their brilliance. Building a team and team building, they loved it. They thrived there. Now for me, what I loved about being a sales director was I had a unit of women, and every week I would hold a weekly training meeting. I loved training. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Now that was not a money earning activity though in that business model. So what I realized was, well, gosh, why not create a business from what I love doing? What is my brilliance? What I'm passionate about that I can do until the cows come home? So that's the first question I want you to ask yourself. Am I in complete alignment? Do I really feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get paid for this? And think about the way that your business makes money. What are those three key money earning activities for your business model? And do you love them? Do you thrive in those activities? Do you feel like they're aligned with your brilliance? Once you know you're absolutely in the right business, the second thing I want to talk about is a 5-step process to identify and to reach your financial goals. So to have that as a crystal clear and compelling vision, the income to be brought in from your business, and the belief that, well, it's totally possible. So how do you do that? First of all, it's to know what amount of money do you really need your business to bring home. Absolutely, just to even the very first figure is just to get by. Okay, so those of you that may be married, if your husband's bringing in an income, figure out what does your family need just to live, to buy groceries, to pay the mortgage, to pay gas, all of those types of things. What does your family need to live on? So let's say it's $6,000 a month. How much does your husband bring home? Maybe he brings home $4,000 a month. So there's a gap of $2,000, right? So that could be figure number one. What is that absolute necessity just to survive? The absolute need, the financial need. The second thing I want you to do is adjust that number now. And think about, okay, ideally, you don't want to just get by, right? What are some things you want to do as a family that maybe we're not in that first figure? Maybe putting aside money for vacations, putting aside money for gifts. What about for your business? Putting aside money for your professional development, those things that may not have been included in your absolute necessity. Now that number one necessity is not just for your business, your family to survive and thrive, but your business as well. What are those ongoing must-haves, like hosting your website, that monthly charge, for example. So this number two figure, where we're talking a little bit more about ideal, not only for your family, but also for your business. So again, professional development, money, There may be something that is done once a year that you would love to do, like work a trade show, and there's money for that. Okay, so go ahead and add in a cushion for figure number 2. The third thing is that number. So let's say figure number 1 was 2,000, and figure number 2, when you add just a little bit more of a cushion for the ideal, is 500. So let's say that's $2,500 a month for you to bring in. Figure number 3, I now want you to multiply that by 1.5. All right, so let's up that 50%. And when you multiply, so 2,500 by 1.5, that's going to give you a real cushion, breathing room, money for taxes. Okay, so that's more of your real financial figure. Then what I want you to do for number 4 is just take a look at that number that you've just calculated, number 3, and ask yourself, does that feel right? Does that feel like that should be my money target? That's my goal for 2013, for me to bring in this amount of money every month. And if you want to adjust it up, then go ahead and adjust it up. So tweak that number for number 4 so it really feels like, oh my gosh, this is my goal. This is what I want my business to bring in. The 5th aspect then of this financial component is to figure out, well, how can I do that? In the mix of what I've got, the way that my business makes money. So how many products do I need to sell? Or how many team members do I need to add? How many appointments do I need to hold? How many massage appointments a week would I need to hold? For me, for example, how many programs of the 6-figure success habits would I be offering a year, with how many people in it, at what price point? So figuring out what could be your mix of your solutions and your products and your programs to hit that goal, that financial goal that you just put down for number 4. So that's what you're going to do is create, so you're creating this compelling vision for your finances, and you're seeing how it's possible. So a possible mix to actually make that happen. All right, so we talked about first making sure you're in complete alignment, that what you love to do, what you're great at, your passion, your past experience is directly aligned with the way your business makes money, what to do in your business, so that you legitimately can say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I can get paid for this, for you to be able to say that forever. The second thing is that 5-step process to really get down deep to your money goal and to see the mix of your products and programs and services and offerings that for you to focus on for 2013 so you can hit or exceed your money goal. The third aspect now that I know I'm in the right business and I've got a picture of how I can hit or exceed my financial goals, I want you now to create a vision, what I call a success vision for 2013. This is not a 15-page boring business plan. No, this is you sitting down and making this a meeting with yourself that's sacred time, that's enjoyable. You know, have an offsite meeting with yourself at Starbucks and just sit on down and you identify your definition of success. Where do you want to be at the end of the year? So let's say it's the end of 2013, it's the end of December, and you are just glowing. You've had the best year ever. Things are great. You know, you epitomize the businesswoman that you want to be. You epitomize the wife and the mother and the friend that you want to be. And then I'm going to ask you, well, tell me, what's going on? What does life look like? So you're going to describe your vision as if you're standing in the future. So it's already the end of December. And you're just telling me what life is like. So just assume that someone's asking you that. And there's 8 key categories that I have my clients walk through. Business, professional development, family and relationships, health and wellness, personal growth, faith and inspiration, finances, and community and making a difference. Those 8 categories. And why is that so important? First of all, if we focus purely on one aspect of our life at the expense of the others, they all interact. They all overlap. So if your personal finances are struggling, do you think that's going to overlap to the success and the creativity and the fun you could have in building your business? Absolutely. If your health is struggling, you don't have that energy and that energy to to be super productive and to have that level of creativity, do you think that impacts your business? Absolutely. If our business is struggling, do you think that overlaps and impacts your relationships with your spouse or your children? Absolutely. So you're a whole person. So I want you to think through for all aspects of your life. And the way that I encourage my clients to do in each of these 8 categories is to have about 3 descriptors in each. So essentially your success vision is about 24 statements of what life's going to look like at the end of the year. At this point, when you create a compelling vision, you're not wondering about how the heck to get there. Now that's a critical step, an absolute critical step, the planning piece, which is another success practice. At this point, you're just getting a crystal clear picture of your final destination. So be thinking about that. So for business, where are you at the end of 2013? How much are you profiting each month? How many folks are you impacting? How many hours are you working your business? Professional development. Who are you as a businesswoman? Are you competent and confident that you're marketing in the right channels and that you know what marketing activities you should be doing day in and day out? Are you confident with a social media strategy, that you are having fun with social media and know what you're supposed to be doing when you're using social media and that you're getting clients out of it? Like professionally, how are you different as a businesswoman from now until the end of the year? How are things looking different? And part of your vision can even be there are some aspects that are still the same, right? So family and relationships, how's that looking? Are you having a date night with your husband, a family game night? Are you remembering birthdays and anniversaries and being that thoughtful person that you always want to be? What does that look like? Family and relationships. What about health and wellness? Are you fit and trim at 150 pounds, where exercise is just a part of who you are? You know, you're exercising consistently 3 days a week, or you're going on a long walk a couple times a week and just feel great. You feel full of energy. You're getting a massage. What does life look like for your health and wellness at the end of the year? Now, personal growth. How is personal growth different from professional development? Professional development is you growing into the businesswoman that you want to become. Personal growth is you as a person, connecting to your interests and your passions and your hobbies. So maybe you're taking this cooking class and having so much fun, or you've taken pottery or sculpting, or that you feel like you are organized around the house, right? You have a house that's welcoming. So how are you growing into the person that you want to be? That's what personal growth is focused on. Faith and inspiration. What does that look like for you? Maybe you have a daily Bible study time, prayer time with God, meditation. For some, inspiration is very different. Their faith is different. Maybe it's that they are connecting with nature. What does your faith and inspiration look like at the end of the year? What does that aspect of your life look like? What is your definition of success? That's what we're talking about with all these categories. What's your definition of success? For you to feel like I had the best 2013, what does that mean? What does the best 2013 mean? What does that look like? Finances. So this gets a little more into even your family finances. Maybe you've got a spending plan that you're living by, and you know everything that's coming in and out, and you feel like you guys have control over your finances. And you feel like you have a plan for retirement, and that you've got those systems in place, and for college education for your children, and that you don't have any credit cards whatsoever, right? That you've got an emergency fund, you've got a cushion. What does finances look like at the end of the year? And then community and making a difference. Maybe you're volunteering at your child's school. You helped build a Habitat for Humanity house. What does that aspect look like? So those are just some of the things that go under the very first success practice. Now, underneath each of these 10 success practices are individual daily habits, what I call 6-figure success habits. But hopefully that gives you a high-level picture of what we're talking about with creating a compelling vision. Making sure absolutely we're in the right business, one that we love, one that is aligned with our brilliance. Secondly, that we have a clear picture of what we need and want to achieve financially. And we've sort of have a vision or a game plan of how we possibly, with our products or services that we have now, how we could hit that number. And thirdly, that we have gotten crystal clear about where we want to be at the end of the year, not only in our business, but in our life. Okay, ladies, that is the very first success practice, and I hope that you grab the videos of all 10 success practices. And I would absolutely be honored to be the one, be the mentor that takes this very overwhelming process of building a business and breaks it down to bite-sized, manageable steps, bit by bit by bit. How do you build this incredibly successful business? How do you have these 10 success practices? How are these six-figure success habits just part of who you are, how you operate, how they become the habits, the things that you do day in and day out consistently? I'd be honored. I've got 2 wonderful coaching programs that you'll be able to hear about, and I am cheering you ladies on. Take care. Bye.